fraction.
Ready fraction. Okay, here we are. Back again after a 2-week break. Here we are. Welcome to SAT Math Question of the Day with Professor Meredith Seth Chaiken,
You
University of
all
Albany,
day.
and Seth's brother Joel. We're here to hopefully show you how to approach SAT math questions. We are in the middle of doing Khan Academy, which is wonderful because the SAT people give you free practice with Khan Academy. They break the SAT, the post-2016 SAT, up into about 40 topics, and they give you 20 questions per topic. So we're going through these topics. They go by level. We are generally not doing the easier questions. But in order to get to the harder questions, you have to do all the questions. So we're in the middle of solving linear equations and linear inequalities. I think we're at question 5. We click on this thing. It says start skill practice. And as you can see, we're up to question 5 there. So let's see. I need to do I have some problems. I have to move the screen around so I can annotate. Wow. Annotate. Okay, annotate. Seth doesn't have that problem. Okay, great. We're ready to go. Okay, so this is the first question. This is 5 of 5 of the easiest section. This is a pretty simple question. If 2 is negative 1 plus p, what is the value of p? Well, generally you would. The goal here when you're solving for an equation,
So find the value of p.
Yeah, to find the value of p.
So there are 2 ways. You find the value of p. It's obviously 3.
Okay, it's obviously 3, right?
Find the number which when you add -1 to it, you get 2. Right. So it's a number. It has to be a little bigger than 2. It's 3. You add -1 to 3, and you get 2.
Right. Okay.
That's way 1-to-1, number 1 to solve it.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, you tell them about way number 2.
Well, way number 2 is more methodical in that your goal in solving algebraic equations is to isolate the variable. So you have this -1 plus p. You want to get p by itself. And what's happening here is this -1 is being added to the p. So you have to do the opposite of the -1. You add the 1 to one side of the equation, then you have to do it to the other side so you balance, so p is 3. The advantage of doing every problem the same way is you get trained in the easy problems, so then when the problems get harder, it's almost habitual. Seth, did you have a third way?
No, I don't have a third way.
Okay, so why don't we move on? Okay, so we have to clear all drawings. I have to stop the screen share. We have to type in the 3, and we have to see. Yes, let's see how they do it. Add 1 to both sides. Okay, so they did it the way I suggested, as opposed to the same way you said. Hey, it's obvious what it is. Okay, view my results. Let's see. We're moving on to skill level 2. Okay, here we go. Skill level 2. What happened here? Next. What happened here? Okay. We're moving on to skill level 2.
Yeah.
What is going on? Computers, I must say.
Computer operators, I must say.
We are now at skill level 2. Skill level 2. Fractions! Oh my god. This is a little harder, isn't it? Now, This really does have multiple ways to do it, doesn't it? Seth, do you hate adding and subtracting fractions as most people?
Well, the denominator of h has to be 15.
No, it doesn't have to. It could simplify.
It has to.
Really?
Solve it.
Fine. Well, what I would do here is...
Because 5 and 3 are both primes.
Well, this is where your massive experience comes in.
And there's no way you could, combine, those 2 primes in the denominator without getting the different primes, without getting a denominator. That's the product of both of them, because the least common multiple of 2 primes is the product of the primes themselves.
Right, but you said the
So
answer.
this is a hard problem.
Okay, but you said the answer has to be over 15 has to be the denominator. But what happens if the answer is 3/15? Then the answer is 1/5.
It's not 3/15. It can't be 3/15.
Okay, you're using some number theory. Why don't we just solve?
Yes.
The Why don't we just solve the thing? Okay, this is okay. Come on, using a nuclear weapon. We are
boom.
Don't joke. Don't joke. Don't joke. It's not funny. Okay. Now, the best thing, a nice thing to do is clear the fraction. Multiply the whole equation by 15 on both sides. So if you multiply the equation on 15 on both sides, on the real test, you would not waste your time rewriting it. 15 times 1/5 is 3. Plus, this is where we all make the mistake. 15 times 4 is 45. Oops. 45H is equal to 15.
15 times 3 is 45, not 4.
God, man. 3.
How do you multiply 15 by 4? Well, 4 is 2 plus 2. 15 times 2 is 30. 30 times 2 is 60.
Right. I was seeing too many 3s out there. This hurts because it was a multiple choice test.
Okay, notice 365. There's no common divisor.
Well, okay, wow, this is a serious fraction.
Yeah.
This is a serious fraction. This is 2. Wow, it's 1/3. It's 2 over 60, which is 1.
So it's 1/30th.
30th. Wait, you were wrong. You said that the answer would be on top of
Yeah, it is. It's half of 15 is the answer. So it's even worse.
Yeah, it's even worse.
Yeah.
This is, considering this is the 6th question in the level.
Yes, a half of a 15th.
I hate to see the 20th question.
Yeah.
But fractions are just a pain to deal with. That was a stupid mistake there. Thanks for catching me. So I think the answer is 1/30th. Now, if you have enough time, which you won't, on the test, you would check this. But you do have a calculator, right? You could go decimal. 0.2 plus 4 over 30. Oh, you kidding me?
Yeah.
Is 0.33. Oh, you could check that with decimal, maybe. Right?
Okay. Now, you didn't share the screen with me.
What?
I don't have a Sheen Square.
How do you not have a screen share?
I don't.
I'm sharing the screen.
Well, I don't have a screen to.
But then how did you know what problem we're doing?
Because I see I don't have a screen share. No, sorry.
Wait, how could you not have a screen share?
Because I have the Zoom window. It's not a screen share.
But no. Then how did you know what problem we're doing? How did you see the problem?
Because I'm in the Zoom session with you, so I see the same screen that you do.
Yeah,
that's not shared, so I can't scribble on it.
Oh, you can't scribble on it?
Nope. Okay, here's another way to do it, Joel.
Sure?
How about you try this?
Oh.
Here we go. Write this.
Okay, go ahead.
Subtract 1/5 from both sides.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's not a bad. That's a good way to do it if you don't mind fractions. 1/3 minus 1/5. This may actually be faster.
Okay.
Fifth.
No, 1/5, not 1/15.
I know. I got it. I figured that out myself.
Okay, then a convenient way to subtract is what you take 5 minus 3 in the numerator and 5 times 3 in the denominator.
Right. Always write as an equation. So make sure you always write everything as an equation.
So it's 2 over 15. So the right hand side is now 2 divided by 15.
Oh yeah, this is a little faster.
Yeah. And then you cancel out the 2's and you get 1/15. And then you divide by 2 and you get half of the 15th, also known as 1/30th.
Right. That actually is a little faster.
Yeah.
That is a little faster in this case. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
dealing
Same.
with smaller numbers.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
So an approach, SAT, try to keep the numbers as small as you can.
Right. The 60. Right. Just the problem is multiplying 4 by 15.
60?
Multiplying by 4 times 15. First of all, I made a mistake.
Sometimes you get 45. When
Yes.
you multiply 4 times 15, you get 45. There's a 4 and a 5.
Right. You make a mistake.
15
Yeah.
times 4 is 45.
That's right. I made that mistake. No. And they got a lot of 3s and 5s
Easy
going
to
on.
make mistakes.
Yes,
Yeah.
easy to make mistakes. I like Seth's idea. Good approach. That's what we're here. Talk about approaches to the problems.
Yeah.
The approach is to keep the numbers low. Low. Seth's in a good mood today. Okay, so
Drinking lots of coffee.
Yeah, I guess that's it, right? I guess that I can't believe you. Well, before we start next time, we have to make sure you can annotate.
Should we do another one?
Yeah, why don't we try? But first, let's
do another one. Yeah.
First, let's clear the drawings. Let's stop this and let's see.
Let's see how they did it.
Okay, 1/30. Let's see what they did. Did they clear the fraction or did they subtract? I bet they subtracted like you did.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
Yes, they did.
That's what they did. That's what they did. Yeah, dividing both sides by 4. Then, okay.
And then they found the common. Okay, then they did the common denominator thing. What I did was the rule of subtracting the numerators to get the numerator. Subtracting the denominators to get the denominator of the difference. Subtracting the denominators to get the numerator of the difference, and multiplying the denominators to get the denominator of the difference.
Right, now when you add it, you don't have to worry about that.
And when you add it, you add the denominators for the numerator and multiply them for the denominator.
I know, but there's a big difference between what we were doing, 1/3 minus 1/5 and 1/5 minus 1/3. You have to be careful. You have to be careful there, right?
The bottom one is a smaller number minus a bigger number, so it's negative.
Right.
So you better make the numerator negative.
That's a good way to double check yourself. Is you can just look at it. The other way is you can try to go decimal 0.2 minus 0.33. You know it's no, just to think in your head, this answer really has got to be negative.
What if it's a seventh? 0.17285.
Where would be the seventh?
14285. I think 6 or 7.
Okay, yeah.
14285.
Okay, you know what a seventh is. It's 0.117. Which one is the 0.7? The 1/5 or the 1/3 would be the 1/7. Anyway.
I'm pretending that the 5 is a 7.
Right, okay.
Well, the 3 is a 7.
Wait, 1/7 minus 1/7 is 0. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going down. We're going somewhere
down.
we should be.
Yes, show them. How do you do a 7th minus a 3rd?
Okay. A 7th minus a 3rd. Well, the way you did it, because you have such massive experience, is you would go 3 minus 7 over 21. Most people would do 3 over 3, 7 over 7, 3 minus 7 over 21. Right? Most people would it's safer to do that, but Seth has a lot of experience, so he knows just to take the other factor of 21 and put it on top, and because he has a lot of experience. Most people may not have that much experience. So anyway, this is -4/7. Right? Yeah, which is a number less than 1. Oh no, less than 0.
Minus 4/21.
Oh my God. Minus 4/21. Yeah. I know that -4/7 seemed too big. Yeah, minus 4/21. Okay, we better move on before we embarrass ourselves even more. Okay. So we're on to the next question. Oh, wow, all of a sudden it got easier. There's no fraction involved. So this is pretty standard stuff. All right, you just subtract 8 on both sides and divide by 8. So it's, oops. So now we're back to,
100 divided by 8. Oh, no. Well, 100 divided by 4 is 25. 100 divided by 8 is half of 25, which is 12 and a half.
right, notice it's no calculator. Now that is a moot point. Anyone taking the SAT in the United States after January 2024 will have a shortened test. It'll be online, it'll be adaptive, and it will have a calculator. So
Yeah.
this is a moot thing. But it's 12 and a half. 100 divided by 100 divided by 4 is 25, and then take half of that is 12 and a half. It's always good to know the dividing by eighths. It's very useful to know. But in terms of solving it, it's a standard thing, isn't it, Seth? You subtract 8 on both sides.
Yeah.
And 8x is 100. You could also do simplify fractions. 100 divided by 8 is 50 over 4. 50 over 4, 25 divided by 2, 12.5. But again, this is a moot question because there's not going to be a calculator. There's going to be a calculator on all the tests going forward. So 12 and a half. They probably do it the standard way. There's really no, it's a standard way of doing it. Right. Yeah. So, they simplify the fraction. They reduce the fraction. Okay, next question.
Yeah.
Okay, same stuff. So we're still in the bottom half of the difficult questions, of the questions of difficulty. But now you have negative numbers coming in, don't you?
Yeah.
So it's the standard thing. Negative 5x plus 1 is, you would never rewrite this. Oh, look at this, negative. I wrote negative 7 too many. My brain is doing too much at one time. Negative. Now what I'm doing is I'm proofreading my work as I go because I'm making a lot of mistakes. But I'm always proofreading, whether the day I make mistakes or not. Some days I make more mistakes than others. You proofread all the time. Oh, wow. So then you have to divide by negative 5, don't you? Proofreading all the time. Okay, does that make sense? Makes sense, right? It's a pretty standard way of doing it. 7/5.
Yeah, it's easy to. Now I could see you could check it by back substituting.
Sure, if you had time, but you're probably not.
Well, you could do that with your eyes.
Yeah. Exactly.
-5.
Yes. You can check this with your eyes. Good habit to get into. If you can check with your eyes.
So you get a -7 plus a 1 on the left, which is -6.
Yeah, so that's always good to check with your eyes. So the answer is 7/5. So we'll just keep going. 7/5. Probably very standard solution. Yeah, it's just nothing.
Yeah.
They don't mention to check, do they? They don't say, hey, if you have time, you should check.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, now, what is that about? Ooh. My God.
Oh, no.
Now this is, there's 2 ways to do this. And one way you don't do it is solve for R. Ooh, now things are getting a little trickier. Now patterns are coming in.
Oh.
What? Wow. So let's change color for this one. Wow.
Well, yeah. So what is it? Yeah. So you have to figure out what fraction do you multiply the right-hand side to get 7 times 1 plus R.
There you go.
Well, you multiply it by 7, divide by 3.
Yeah. Basically,
so you take the left-hand side and multiply that by 7/3.
Absolutely. Now, luckily, 24 and 3 cancel, right? So this is negative 8.
3 divides 24.
Right, that's the better way to say it.
8 times 7 is 56.
And then you check the negative sign. It's interesting. Like, I know why they. Oh no, they couldn't have put a positive 56 because you put a negative 56, positive 56. We realized, well, the answer's got to be 56ish.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they should have had a positive 56 for a distractor.
Yeah, but if they did that, anyone with smart test taking realize if they duplicate the 56 and one is positive, one is negative, those are probably the answers. Because why would they?
Well, maybe a negative 56, positive 56, negative 9, and positive 9.
Good idea. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we would have done if Brothers Chaiken were making the test.
Well, we would have also made it a write-in.
Right. Now, this problem here at first glance may look really intimidating and like, what do you do? But once you get the hang of these,
well, here's where the very first strategy is important to have in your brain. Okay. The question is, what's the question? What is the value time of 7 times parenthesis 1 plus r?
Right.
It's not, the question is not what is the value of r.
That's right.
It's not what is the value of 1 plus r.
Right.
So go solve this equation. Solve for r. No, the question is, you're not interested. Don't ask for the value of r. They ask for 7 times 1 plus r.
That's right. Well, The other way to view it is they're also doing 7 times, let's say, a blue stone. Okay?
A blue stone.
They want 7 times a blue stone, and they're telling you that negative 24 is equal to 3 times that blue stone.
Yeah.
So maybe so if they want 7 times a stone, what we're really solving for is one. We could think of it as solving 1 plus r. We don't really care what 1 plus r is. It could be a blue stone. So then the blue stone here is negative 8. 8 is the negative blue stone. So they want 7 times your blue stone. So negative 8 times 7 is negative 56. Think this whole thing about x and r and these variables. They can represent a tractor trailer truck.
Yeah.
Right.
Another approach, another idea here, but to simplify the arithmetic. It's so tempting to divide both sides of the given equation by 3.
Sure.
To get rid of that big 24.
That gets you.
So you have minus 8
right.
equals 1 plus r.
Right.
And they are interested not in 1 plus r, not in 2 plus r, not in 1 plus r times 2, but 1 plus r times 7.
Right.
1 plus r is minus 8. 7 times the blue stone is minus 7 times 8 is minus 56.
How about 58, 56? 56, not 58. Yeah, so you can see that if you solve for r, it's not a good thing, but there are multiple ways to think about how to do this problem. Wow, they really are, aren't they? They really are, and each one of those is a good, sophisticated way of doing it.
So what should you do if you don't remember what 7 times 8 is?
Well, I guess you don't get the question right, which is really bad. No, but you can't do that. You're saying how do you figure out what 7 times 8 is without knowing that it's 56?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. Okay, that's a good thing to go over, just in case. I mean, it's a moot point, because after January 2024, no one's ever going to have to do this again on account, because everything's going to be a calculated test. So
it is?
Huh. Yeah, the SAT and January 24. The math section there's only going to be one math section. It's going to be adaptive, which means however you answer it, then they're going to give you different questions depending on how you do. Although I think there are only 2 levels of adaptivity. And it's calculator only, and they give you the calculator. It's an online test. Oh, it's also online, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but, you know what? Probably didn't know this, Seth. A childhood secret. The last multiplication that I was ever able to memorize or learn, was this one.
Oh,
I always
wow.
found that one the toughest of all the 100 you have to do. Wait, you have to do
I
100 of
think,
them?
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I felt the same way. So I made sure to work hard on memorizing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seven times six was never my favorite either. 42. I never liked
Yeah,
that one
that
either.
too. Yeah.
But seven times eight was always a trick. Wait, it looks like my face is getting
Yeah.
cut off a little there. I have to move up. Um, yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, do you have words of wisdom as to how to rederive seven times eight quickly?
Well, uh, okay. What you could do is double seven three times. Seven
No,
plus
double
seven
seven
is
four times.
yeah.
Okay.
Seven plus seven is 14. Yeah, three times. 14
Oh,
plus 14 is 28, and 28 plus 28 is 56.
right. Yeah, that's not a bad way to do it. That's
Yeah.
not a bad way to do it.
Eight is two times two times two.
Right. So first you double seven. Then
Double,
you
double, double.
right. You double seven, and that changes the eight to a four. So you need four doublings of seven, which is four 14s, and then you can do 14 plus 28. 14 plus 14 is 28, and then yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
good way of doing it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
helpful that these are even numbers.
Mm.
Yeah, you'd have a problem with like
Yeah.
nine, like 9 times 7.
Mm.
Ooh, 9 times 7 is tough, right? Because you can't cut
Yeah.
stuff
So you
by
could also
half.
do 8 times 8 is 64 and subtract 8 from that.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying another way to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's using the distributive law. 8
Yeah.
times 8 is our friend. But we do 8 minus 1. This is a nice thing, right? 8 times 8 is 64 minus 8. But then you have to do
Yeah.
64 minus 8 in your head. That's hard. 64
I don't know.
minus
The way
8.
I do that is that I imagine in the number line 60 is sitting there.
Hmm.
60 is sitting there, on the floor of a building.
Okay.
60 is like a certain floor on the
Right.
building,
64.
and then four steps above 60 is 64,
Right.
and 64 minus 8 is four steps below 60.
Right. That's right.
And I know my memory is very good for that. Four steps below 10 is 6. 6
right.
plus
Yeah,
4
yeah. 6 plus 4 is
equals 4 plus 6 is 10.
10. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think of 64 as four steps above 60. 64 minus 8, 64 minus 4 minus 4 is four steps below 60. Four steps below, any multiple of 10 is the preceding multiple plus 6.
Okay, so I think we're probably done for today. Except, I just want to make one more point about this question. This really is the baby version of what we call the U trick. So when you do substitution in algebra 2 and in calculus, you always use the U, right? Let U equal something, right? Is that common math?
V W R
But U is very
T
common.
S.
U is very common, isn't it? Like if you have an equation, sine squared x plus 2 sine x plus 1 is 0, this is in quadratic form. You let U equal sine of x. And then you have a quadratic form. And now it's solvable. In some ways, this is the U, right? This is just the beginning of the understanding of the concept of that you could take a big thing.
It's time to wrap it up.
Yeah.
You could take a big thing and just call it one thing and work with that one thing. The idea of a blue stone, the idea of U. It's such a important thing in algebra 2. They're just starting to see a glimpse of it, just a tiny little glimpse of it. So, okay.
Well, that's well used for calculations in the real world that engineers and scientists actually do.
Yeah.
where the formulas would stretch over many pages.
Right. Right.
Uh-huh.
Right. So they call something just you. Yeah. They just
Yeah,
call something something, and they deal with that as a separate object.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And with its
Oh,
own characteristics. The discriminant in a quadratic equation is sort of like that, right?
yeah,
Negative b plus or minus the square root of b
yeah,
squared minus 4ac 2a. Right? This thing called the discriminant is similar to that. It's a thing
yeah,
that's, yeah. And you pull it out and you can deal with it itself. So
yeah.
anyway, so that's a really important
Anyway,
idea. Okay, so we're done?
we're done.
We're done. So we
Goodbye.
got back maybe 5 questions here. We made a
Yeah.
bunch of mistakes, but and then wait, so we never checked the answer, but the answer's,
Well,
Let's just quickly see how they do it. Yeah, they so what do they do? Oh, let's see how they do it. They say it's very similar. Very similar. They're noting a pattern. You see, they're saying very similar to.
Yeah.
So they're noting the pattern. Patterns are very important with SAT math.
Yeah.
Okay, and they sort of did it the way I did it the very first way. But there are multiple ways to have done this, as we showed. To use this idea of a pattern, use this idea of you, use this idea of the package. Okay? So that's it, right? We're done. If you please like us, dislike us, give us comments on our YouTube page or our YouTube videos, or email us at satmathquestion@gmail.com. I'll say that slower. And if you have any SAT math questions, email us at satmathquestionoftheday@gmail.com. Hopefully, see you tomorrow.